Jubilee the Joy of Learning presents you the Uncensored Teachers podcast. I'm your host, Sindhura with my co host, Naveena, who's also my mother. So, please introduce yourself.
Hi, hi everyone. This is Naveena who has a 20 plus years of experience in the field of education. I welcome you all to the Jubilee Joy of Learning for the Uncensored Teachers.
Yeah. So, this podcast is basically us trying to answer some questions or some problems that is related to school culture, teachers, students, etc. So we discussed different kinds of problems. So even this episode is going to be the same. So this episode I chose the topic of smartphones because that's quite trending and it's a very debated topic among students and teachers alike, even parents, including parents. So my first point is smartphones, is it necessary? And in that there are many subtopics we have to go through. So first one
Necessary
is
for whom? For the teachers or the students?
the students.
The students, okay.
Yes. So the first pointer is security. So do you think that students should have smartphones in regards to their security?
Yeah, let's come the security about children or the phones with the children. We'll know. We know that when
I think
mothers
later
start-
on we will go through security with the phone. But
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
But security of the children is what we're going to go first.
Okay. Actually, these smartphones have come into a child's hand during the COVID time, mostly. Though mothers were working before, they were leaving their children in the home with someone or alone. They didn't bother, mothers didn't bother to know about what the child is doing at home when they are not present. But when COVID came, I think due to online
Yes.
teaching and online classes, a cell phone came into the hands of kids. From then onwards, after the COVID time also, when the child is going out, it became a habit that mothers give the child carry the cell phone, and mothers think that, and mothers also ping or call the child where the child is, whether they reach the home, whether they reach their destination, all those things. I just sometimes think that where that was before.
Yeah. I have the question because I think I got my phone from my class 11th, right? So
Yeah.
that's when I used to go to Akash by myself. So I used to book my cab and everything through those phones. And usually, even those cab accounts was in your name that time. But now these days, people are making their own accounts. But that was one means of me to come back home and everything. But in your day and age, there was no phones, nothing, right? So
Nothing.
how were you tackling with the situation in the same age as us?
Even I was in plus one and plus two. I used to go tuitions, attend tuitions for the subjects, and right from morning 5 o'clock, I used to have a small moped or a Luna, and where I used to go. Uh, I do not think of home because I'm good with friends, studies, and all. Only after coming home in the evening, when I reach home, my mother used to tell, you reached the home, you made the day. Then she often used to tell, how much tensed I used to be till you reach the home. When I hear your moped sound or the sound of the gate, then I think, yes, the girl who went in the morning 5 o'clock has returned home safely.
Yeah.
Then we have, if we see like that, then we have to go to the past and past and past to how
Yeah.
the people used to live. But the times changing, the security levels are also changing. The way people cheating, the ways they cheat outside the people is also changing. It's becoming so prevalent that now security for the child is more important, and the parents think that if they give the cell phone or the mobile in the child's hand, they can at least track the child, where the child is and
Yes.
all. So for that, yeah, when you were taking the phone during 11th class, I was happy. I was happy. And I trusted you.
Yeah.
Not this. Yes.
Actually, these days, during those days, when I used to have my phone, first I had a button phone itself,
Yeah.
right? That time we didn't have the facility to book cabs. These days, you can still book cabs for someone who has a button phone.
Mhm.
So, uh, if you take the same situation of me being in class 11th, my main purpose of getting a phone was just to inform that I've reached this place or I'm coming back home. My class is over. Those things can still be done with a button phone, and still you can if I just inform you, mom, I'm done with my tuition, can you book a cab for me, you can still book a cab and send me a OTP, a notification on my phone, and it will still have the GPS tracking and everything because that's linked to the driver's phone. So that's now the technology has evolved actually, so you can still use a button phone and travel places.
Okay, button phone traveling. In those days, button phone is also a costly one.
Yes, I'm
And
saying,
coming to the Android phone is too costly.
yeah,
But now you see that we have so many companies offering the Android phone at a very
low price,
minimum
yes.
price, and there is no button phone. If I want to see also, no one is using except a very few people, very few people. Uh, but as these came, the Android phones came in, where it became very prevalent at a low price. People started using those itself, and you have multiple users with it, right?
Yes. Now, from that multiple uses, I want to go through the most trendy topic among phones, that is social media. So, social media, a lot of kids are using because people are giving worried about their security, but it's slowly bifurcating into them using social media a lot. So, what do you think about that?
Social media nowadays, I see that in my experience during COVID, children have started using more of WhatsApp,
Yeah.
because the schools have used WhatsApp as their classrooms, uh, diaries,
Yes.
school diaries,
Assigning
what not. Everything, a WhatsApp account is everything. Right from then onwards, WhatsApp became so popular among children also. They need not copy, or they need not put any efforts in the classroom. Everything is there in the WhatsApp. They can check at any time, any day. So that became an easy thing. Before also, before the COVID, when WhatsApp was not so much prevalent with the kids, they might have used a phone to watch some videos or something. But when the COVID came, when WhatsApp became everything for them, a friend, a guide, a diary, a project, and everything, then WhatsApp became so prevalent, and you can see lots of messages running in the WhatsApp. And who can control it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And after reopening of the schools physically, also, I see that no child is eager to copy the homework or note down the homework. They think that everything is in WhatsApp. I can check it at any time and anything, and I need not struggle for doing the homework. If I ask one of my friend who is struggling, who did the homework with a lot of efforts,
Yeah.
you can just ask them, they'll post it, and you can do your work at any time and
Yeah.
submit the homework.
Even teachers are sending just pictures of the homework that is assigned
Yeah,
to kids.
that's what that's what I have seen. One thing I always think, do we have to praise the technology, or
I think we'll get into it.
wait?
We have to
Okay.
get into it.
Yeah.
So now these days, I'm seeing parents are providing a phone with internet. Internet access equals to social media. WhatsApp is one great thing. I think WhatsApp is still not as deadly as other social media is. So let's take, since we don't have TikTok in India, so we're lucky with that particular area. But we have Snapchat, we have Instagram, we have Twitter. Yeah, these are the main Facebook, I don't think a lot of kids this generation use it as much. And a lot of these social media have one thing in common, and that is spreading fake news, rumors, and false information. So, what do you think about that?
I think that is not in our control or anything. But one thing, there should be a communication between the parents and the children. If you have the parents have a proper communication, both the child, both the parties, then obviously the child, if they see the children, if they see any news or the fake news, or they think it is real also, they can obviously discuss, where the mother and the father at the end of the day, if they sit and discuss what they did the particular day or what they have seen, they can discuss. The parents are the only one, they can say what is fake and what is real.
Yes.
And children will easily, to a certain extent, they trust their parents and believe the parents. If they cannot, also sometimes that some children who are so close with their teachers also, they can discuss. And we have to see that the parents or the teachers do not deny to discuss or say no to discussion. Yes, they have to participate in the discussion and clear whatever the doubts they have, and enlighten the children on the news, whatever they watch in the social media.
Yes, that's true. In regards to having communication with parents, do you think parents have to check their kids' phones? And how frequent should those checks be?
Checking, when you say the word check, if you say it so harsh, yeah, it might affect the child, this thing that I think my parents do not believe me or trust me. But when the parents are giving the phone itself, it is their duty to tell the children that parents have every right to look into their phone. They're just children, and there are so many, they can always tell them why they are going to check the phone. It is not to check their uh, to whom they're talking to and all. It is for their security levels.
But I think that also depends on the kind of relationship a kid has with their parent, right? If it's an open relationship, you tend to tell your parent better that with whom you're communicating. I mean, till to this day, I still inform you what kind of interactions I have had. For example, today I've talked to this friend. I still mention that to you. But some kids don't do that.
See,
So
open relationship is the key factor for
yes.
anything. For anything. Yes, of course, many parents tell the children they don't have time, but your children is your priority, the first and the foremost priority. When you bring them into this world, they have to be there. Whatever the job you do, whatever you do, you have to give some time. Okay, today you're so busy, at least the next day
Yes.
they have to become your priority. And open relationship is the key factor for anything
Yes.
in their life.
I absolutely agree with that. What do you think about the external, non controllable things that happen with social media? For example, a lot of grooming takes place on social media where a lot of kids actually enjoy writing their ages on their pages. So, seeing their ages, a lot of grown men come to prey on them, prey on these kids, especially who are active. A lot of active social media users have faced that. I have seen some of my friends face it. I have seen some random messages that I got on my Instagram. Not when I was younger, but maybe after 12th. But I have experienced it. And I know kids much younger than 11th and 12th grade are using their phones. So, how do you think children have to be safe from those kind of messages?
Is there any control to keep the messages away from such kind of
There
people?
are ways to control the kind of apps you can download, the kind of sites you can open. For example,
Okay, as a parent, I'm unaware of all these
yes,
things.
a lot
As a
of
technical student, you're aware of all
yes,
these things.
actually, a lot of parents are unaware. Actually, there are ways to even block certain porn sites and everything. So if you're handing a phone over to your kid, there are ways to do that. that you block certain
Yeah,
apps
such
and
things we can do.
yes, but a lot of parents are not aware of these techniques. And children have way, they're more intelligent than their parents, they're more active in their generation than their parents, so they obviously know, they know loopholes to get around with it. So one way to warn them beforehand that even if you go to this place is, how can you protect yourself?
One thing is the parents get some cyber education.
Yes.
That is necessary. If I don't know anything as a mother, if I don't know anything till today, till the point of time, I search in Google how to do something and do it. Parents should have that inquisitiveness because they are safeguarding their own child. So how to do such things? Are there any technology related to it? Do it. No. I also think that why don't some schools give some cyber education to children, parents,
Yes.
to parents.
Or
They can have some workshop
yes.
where the computer teachers are the faculty is there. They can call them, they can invite them, especially mothers, because father may not look into all those things.
Mm.
Of course both of them they can attend, especially mothers should attend such type of meetings and learn how to, what are the parent control, children child lock systems and all. They can do it in prior and give it to the child.
Or better yet, I feel like this idea, as you have mentioned, school should provide these classes. Better yet, the school can provide the phones with everything blocked.
Yeah, they nowadays they're providing tabs also,
Yeah.
laptops also.
Actually, those tabs do have those blocked
Yeah, on the
apps and
yeah.
everything where you
Control,
can't
all controls.
Yes. So
Even
I
offices, we when we get an laptop from office, they have all the controls, right?
yes. So I think that's also a great idea that the school itself can provide a phone to the kids and block all those unnecessary apps and websites that children should not be having an access to.
Mm. As you mentioned, older people, first thing is if something, child can identify what is good and what is bad. You, as a parent, you educate the child. If you think it is bad, don't respond to it.
Yes.
Don't respond. Or still, if you are not responding, the other person might stop. Okay, this person is not responding, let me stop. But still, if they are intimidating you with such kind of messages and all, I am there for you, mother and father, we are there for you. You can always show us, tell us. Then we will know how to control such kind of messages.
Yeah, then it's all looping back to having an open
Open
and
conversation.
good
Yes,
relationship
yes,
with their
yes,
parents, right?
yes. That is necessary for all these things. As sometimes when the technology came, or a laptop or a phone came, everything, when everything is in your palm with the
Yes.
phone, you can just Google it, you can just watch. If you don't know a recipe, you need not, in our times we used to call our mom how to do this recipe. You need not call anyone, you can just take YouTube and do. But when you're doing all such things, what you think is, I need not require anyone to do, my phone is enough to do anything. But see, with our conversation we have found out we need to have a open
Good relationship.
and
Yes.
good relationship with our parents or the elders.
Yeah. With Google, how do you feel about students having access to such immense amounts of information and knowledge, the way they use it? And the second thing is, how this videos like YouTube videos and shorts and everything, how does it affect the attention span of the kids?
You're having two questions. Okay, first one is Google having lot of information. What I found is, of course, Google is having lot of information. Uh, Children are not using it.
Yeah.
Children are not using it.
And
Money, I have seen them when they are writing the exams during online classes, they might have copied some of the answers from, because to secure. But if they want to study, if they want to know something or they want to find out some information, no, they're not using it. They're asking the teacher or leaving it. We'll see when it appears in the exam. They're not using it constructively, we can say that.
Curiosity, it's still not building you.
It's not.
Okay. What about attention span of a kid?
Reduced. Reduced, especially when these you also mentioned to me that about the shorts and the reels and all. I have seen for the past 1 year, I have seen the students while I'm teaching also. I was able to teach for two long hours continuously, but they are not able to sit for more than 10 minutes or 15 minutes. They just look here and there, though the class is interesting and having some exercises or the activities in between. So I thought the attention span is being reduced. Maybe they're like I too watch those shots and reels. They're so interesting, right?
Quick information, quick
bites of information,
Yes.
and all. They're so interesting. Even sometimes after seeing 2 to 3 reels, I too think, oh my god, I have to put a stop to this. Let me go and we can watch a full length video to know the complete information. Because what I observed is those quick bites of information is not the complete information.
Yes. And sometimes they're wrong too.
Sometimes it may be the wrong information and not the complete information. But the complete information of anything, it's better to watch the complete video and know the both
Ins
pros
and
and
outs,
cons of thing. That's what I think.
That's my cat. Yeah. And in regards to attention span, do you think parents should monitor the screen time of children?
Obviously, they have to monitor.
So how much screen time should they have per day?
How much means what?
An hour?
An hour. An hour, it goes just like that. Yes, it flies away.
No, screen time includes TV, laptop, computer, and phones. So all together.
During school time, I don't think they'll have 1 hour of time to watch screens because they're getting a lot of homeworks and all. Of course, during homework, they'll check the WhatsApp,
Yes.
the phones and all. That is another thing. It's not there for entertainment. Yes, and they can play in the evening. On the school also, they might be playing with their friends and all if they have a games period. But during school time, I think it'll be more half an hour to 1 hour during school days. Only during holidays, I think it's not 2 hours also. They're extending the whole day to watch the screens. So that should be a control, and they should be completely engaged in some useful work.
Now, about bad behavior. So, if suppose a child is not using their phones properly and their phones are being confiscated away, how should the child come up in this situation? How should he react? What should be the takeaways of the child?
The child should know that for any bad thing, repercussions will be there. That's what I told you. When you're handing over something, that the parent should be very clear on this. Yes, what are how the child can use. If the child uses it improperly, what are the repercussions? The child should be able to accept all those, what the bad things he or she has done, and they have to be accountable for the things they have done and face the repercussions. There, I don't think so. They have to know the value of that particular thing, or the freedom the parents have given to them.
Yes, there's always price for enjoyment.
Yes,
right?
they have to earn it.
Yes. So, in regards to this, now the topic I was discussing with you before, I want your live reaction to something. So recently there has been a Instagram reel or a TikTok that has been going everywhere. In a school in the US, a teacher confiscated a student's phone.
Oh.
And the student, rather than taking the punishment, she went in an aggressive mode. She started demanding the teacher to return her phone back. And while demanding all of this, she pepper sprayed her teacher twice in his face.
Oh.
To the point that he fell over in the corridor and his eyes were burning and he could not control the tears and everything. And the other students just recorded this whole interaction. So what do you think? If a child behaves like that, what do you think?
It's too, what you say, sad from the teacher's part. Yes. Confiscation we also do sometimes. When I was working as a principal, even we used to check the bags of the children. Because when we come to know that some child is carrying a phone without the notice of the parents and the teachers, we used to confiscate. Of course, the reaction is the children used to plead us and all, but this is a way aggressive and all. Oh, he needs counseling. The child needs counseling.
It's a female child.
The child needs counseling, because that type of, here, confiscation and all, you keep it that aside, but reaction is more important.
Yes.
How the child reacts to a situation. This is, you can ask the teacher, you can say sorry. Saying sorry is that is what I'm missing these days. Telling sorry, that is not happening in the house as well as outside also, from the children's side. Yes. That means they're not accepting what they have done. And if the reaction is improper like this, they need to be counseled. They need to be counseled as soon as possible.
So since there's an addiction, there's always rehabilitation. So there are rehabilitation places for phone addicted people. But the irony is, after certain hours of rehabilitation, they're sent back home and again they're using their phones. It's like a druggie getting the rehabilitation and again told to go back and use meth or cocaine. So what do you think about this? How should a person cope up with this addiction of phones and everything?
See, as before we used to hear about rehabilitation in the terms of drug addicts and alcohol and all, consumption and all. But coming to the phone, you gave me news that they are having rehabs for phone addiction also. But okay, after the child becomes sober or the person becomes sober of drugs, you can keep away the drugs. It is not a necessary thing for the person to have drugs. Without drugs, today you can't do this work or you can't do that. It's not like that. Even alcohol also. But how phone? How? Though you come from rehabilitation, the day starts with our good morning messages from WhatsApp, from the phone. How can you again stop the person not becoming a phone addict? Do you have any idea?
I think it's all in your control, but it's also upbringing is very important. If the parents are attentive, I feel like kids usually tend not to depend on the phones too much. Even in our tuition, I see there are two categories of children, three categories actually. One category that don't use phones at all, they don't have their own phones. One category, they have their phones and they feel like their whole life is dependent on them. And second category, the third category, is the type of people who use their phones and they know when to switch it off, when to switch it on, when it's necessary, when it's not necessary. And I think all of that, again, the common denominator here, the phones are common. The people, the classes, and the kids are common. The upbringing is the different part. So I think it's all dependent on the upbringing.
Yeah. I totally agree. Upbringing means that's the same thing.
Yeah. Again, open a
Open
relationship.
relationship and all, how you communicate with the child, how you talk. See, if the child knows when to use it and when not to use it, it is totally, the parents have educated them.
Yes.
The elders have educated them that when to use and when not to use. If you don't educate them, as you told, the second category, their life depends on the phone itself for everything. It has again the same thing. Family bonding, the relationship is more important, wherein so lot of information is communicated, and which keeps our life secure.
Yeah. I also see this phenomenon of iPad kids, where even from toddlers' age, people are just.
That is so serious. That is so serious, because I have seen. I didn't experience. I'm very lucky in that, but I have seen with my colleagues, kids, and all, where the children do not have their food without an iPad.
Yes.
They do not drink the milk or something. Even they stop talking,
Yes.
because most of the time they're engaged in watching the videos. They don't have, and the mothers supplying food and milk from time to time, where the child sits and watch the iPads. So there is no scope of talking to a mother whether child wants food or milk, or want to have a bath or something. So they totally, the child stop talking. Till 2.5 years, till the child goes to school, the scenario is like this. When the child starts going to school, I think last year or the before last year, I have a kid like that in grade 3. The child doesn't speak, not even in the class or with his parents. The parents are quite worried. Why the child is not speaking? Why the child is not speaking? Only they realize it when the child started going to school. I think he is in grade 2. So his UKG and first grade and LKG all went in COVID.
Yeah, okay.
So he watched the classes just how he watched the videos on the online. And first time he's entering the school, and there he's not able to speak with the teacher or follow the instructions what the teacher is giving, or speak to the parents. Then the parents started worrying.
Yeah.
That's the thing I have seen. They stop talking, only watching, only eyes are working. Even brain is not working. There is nothing to think. Everything, whatever they want, they're watching on the video. There's nothing to think to sharpen the brain or use their brain. Yes. And mothers also, I see that these days the child need not ask for food. By the time the child feels hungry, the food comes onto the table or to the child where the child is. Only thing the mother says is, he is not disturbing my work. The child is not disturbing my work. He is engaged. Let him be and let me do my work.
I have seen several TikToks like that, where because the child will throw a tantrum while bathing, they'll just hand him an iPad and make him bath. Hand him an iPad, make him feed. Just if the iPad is gone, the tantrums begin.
Not only the tantrums, the child stops eating
Yes.
completely.
So it's related in their brains. The neuron connection is made that with an iPad
we
we
have
get
an
food.
experiment, right?
Yeah.
That dog experiment,
Yeah.
if you remember.
Bell and food.
Yes, where the saliva gets secretes when the,
drool.
The same thing. We're all, what do you say?
I'm scared for the future generations, because we live in a generation where all of these things are accessible, and once we grow up and we have kids on our own, all of these things are there. in our hands, and
Develop new ideas how you
yes.
can control, how can you
So we would like your expertise in that regard. How would you control these kind of situations? How would you advise these parents in regards to stop for the kids not to get addicted to these phones or
as a
iPads?
parent, can you give time? Can you give time to your child to feed? While feeding, do you tell stories or speak to the child? I remember my mother used to speak to me even while feeding, while giving a bath and all. So such kind of time, if you just allocating the time. But people say, who has time right now?
It feels like such a nonchalant things, but it makes a huge difference later on in life.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm.
And also, who has time? Don't say that who has time. It is up to you planning the day.
Yes.
If you plan the day, yes, as I told you, your children is your first priority. You just plan your day how it goes. For some things, you might be talking with your colleagues when you work. You have to talk. Yes, you can easily say no for some time and spend that some time with the child,
Yes.
talking and all. I think it is in our hands. There's nothing, no technology or no other will suffice a mother to the child. It take the place of the mother to the child. So make time, plan your day, make time, spend the time with the kids. That's what I think. If anyone has any more ideas, they can share with us.
Yeah. So we feel like with this whole discussion, we came that phones and internet are not inherently wrong on their own, but it's all about parenting, having an open relationship, and everything. So everything.
Spending time
Yes.
with each other.
Yeah. So that determines whether the phone becomes an enemy to you or a friend to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phone is always useful. We use for so many things, right? It makes, as you're telling, there is no time. Phone is making a lot of time for you.
Yeah.
It's making your life easier. You just make a list of your provisions, get through online, home delivery, everything. For everything, we have to go to the market. If your market is coming to your house, then your time got saved, right?
Yeah.
Spend that time with the child.
Yeah. All right. That was a good discussion.
Yeah, it's nice discussion to the topic.
If anyone has any suggestions or anything, they can always.
Yes, any questions to ask?
Yes, anything or your experience you want to tell, please do leave a comment. Do share this podcast with anyone.
Do like it?
Yes. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for such a nice discussion.
All right.